Introducing Passport Bros, your ultimate travel companion. Download the app for free and embark on a journey where your adventures not only become unforgettable memories, but also opportunities to earn. With Passport Bros, your travel content is more than just photos and videos. It's your ticket to a fully monetizable network of like-minded adventurers. Imagine making money from your travel stories. Post videos, share your experiences, and let the world be a part of your journey. But that's not all. Connect with travelers from around the globe, join co-ed groups, and make lasting friendships, perhaps even with foreign women who share your passion for exploration. And here's the best part. Store your earnings securely in your Passport Bros wallet. No hassle, no worries. Just seamless transactions wherever your travels take you. Looking for the best local experiences? Passport Bros has got you covered. Get personalized recommendations for tour guides, rentals, and the hottest clubs in town. Did we mention the app is absolutely free to download? That's right. Your passport to a world of adventure is just a click away. And here's the cherry on top. With Passport Bros, you can make money while travel into a source of income, right from your mobile device. So what are you waiting for? Download Passport Bros now, share your journey, connect with fellow explorers, and let the adventure begin.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.
All right, all right. And we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. It is your man, BMT. I know we running a little late tonight, but we in here. I know you said Friday night in the States right now, probably around, 10 o'clock? Almost approaching 10 o'clock. I'm starting doing these lives a little earlier, man. I didn't realize that you guys had leaped forward already. So I'm going to start doing these lives a little bit earlier. Catch you guys. I know you guys got stuff to do. Probably out and about, getting your tricking on. That's where the real tricking at is, in the States. You guys probably on some dates, going off $200 dates and stuff like that, $300 dates out there in the States. That's a plane ticket, by the way, fellas. So let's see who's all in the room. We'll get this show started, man. We got a great show for you guys today. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Why Passport Bros are under attack. We got some videos, some airport videos. I'm also going to debunk Mr. Mr. Queen Zesty. All right, he did another video on the so-called Passport Bros in Cartagena. I'm going to debunk his first video and his second video a little later on in the show. But first and foremost, welcome everybody in the room. All right, shout out my man Kevin Johnson's in the building. Says, I'm in the first in the house. Shout out to you. Actually, it was James that was first, man. But shout out to my man James Posey in the building. Says, salute to the Blue Book gentlemen. Yeah, man, salute to the Blue Book gentlemen. Shout out to my man Yes. I haven't seen none of Yes Jonas content in a while, man. But shout out to him. All right. We in here, man. We are in here. And before I get the show started, I got to show a lot of love to the Passport Bros Facebook group. I know I haven't given them a shout out in a while. That's where it all started at. That's where we first went viral. That's when the name kind of got out there. It was from the private Passport Bros Facebook group. So let's tap in there real quick. Where we at? Let's just tap in here and see what's going on in the private Facebook group. All right. As you guys can see, we are at, hold on, let's see if it can pull up the screen. All right, let's try that one more time. StreamYard always switching up on this shit. Hold on, let's see. All right, there we go. All right, so as you guys can see, we're at 26,400 members in the private Facebook group. Now, there are some knockoff groups that kind of stole the name and everything. They might put a little dot behind it. Most of those are like scammer groups. They be having fake group trips and all that. But this is the original Facebook group, all right? This is the original Passport Bros. This is the first one. All right, established I think in 2020 or something like 2021. So this is where it all started at. Like I said, this group actually went viral on Fox News. All right, people have mentioned this group in small documentaries, TV specials. This is the group. Like I said, this is the original group. We're pretty stringent on who we let in the group, or we try to be as much as we can. I want to give a shout out to all the admins of the group as well. A lot of good information in this group, family. So make sure to join this Facebook group. We know a lot of guys on the Passport Bros app as well. That's the private community, okay? Because we have the Facebook group, but we know we under kind of like monitoring from the powers that be. So we also created the Passport Bros app with even more of a wealth of information. So make sure to join the Passport Bros. Download it. It's in both App Store and Google Play. Just type in Passport Bros and it'll pop right out. As you can see, that's the logo in the top right-hand corner of the screen. All right, let's see what we got going on in the Passport Bros Facebook group. All right. A lot of announcements. Of course, I'm live right now. Just different posts and stuff like that. You know, a lot of content creators. Oh, I want to point this out too. Like I said, it's a lot of good information in this Facebook group. The weather is good in Thailand, man. I want to point this out here. Let me pull this up on the screen. All right, let me pull this up because you guys are going to be shocked by this. Let me see if we got this right here. Now, this was a post in the Facebook group right here. All right. Shout out to Fernando for sharing this post. He says, anyone traveling to Mexico by land and want to bring stuff over to the U.S., be ready to pay a China tariff of 145%. You heard that right, guys. 145% of what you originally paid on the product if the product is made in China. Now, I was a little confused about this whole tariff thing. I know we've been having like this little tariff war since Trump been in office, but I didn't think it would hit like this. For example, I bought a mini split in Mexico that cost $280 US. Now I don't know, I'm not sure what a mini split is, but he says adding the 145% China tariff to the original cost of the mini split because product was made in China, I paid an extra $406 to pass it, even if it's for personal use. Learned my lesson. Total cost was $686. $280 plus 145% equals $686. Now, did you guys know about this? I didn't know about this. I didn't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're gonna do this. I know this was specifically a land crossing, but I did not know. So if we bring products back from overseas, are we gonna get hit with a tariff? I'm not sure. This is kind of crazy work. All right, $406. Yeah, I'm not sure what the mini thing is, the product is, but $406 was just the tariff, more than the actual cost of the product. Can't save a dime anymore. Rather share this with everyone so it won't happen to someone that wants to save money because it's cheaper in Mexico. Just want to spread the word to help and inform everyone of these tariffs. So that's the type of information that you can get in the private Facebook group, guys. If you haven't already joined, make sure to join the private Facebook group, the original. Make sure it's the right one. All right, let me put that up on the screen so you guys are joining the right one. You guys, I get emails sometimes saying some guy got scammed for some group trip, and I'm like, that's not even my Facebook group, sir. All right. So let me make sure you guys can see the look. All right, this is the top of the Facebook group. You guys can see. All right. Also, I want to point this out too. It was in Houston right there. A lot of good content, man. A lot of good content creators. All right. I want to point this out right here as well. All right. I wasn't really trying to put her number out here like that. They say it's still active. But it says here, one of the men in Medellin, okay, this woman recently drugged and robbed a tourist. Be careful. More men have been targeted by women like her. Second. Hold on. And apparently the number is still active. So give me 1 second. Where's my style at? They constantly switching some stuff up on the streaming service. I wish they'd just chill the hell out. All right, here we go. All right. So it was a warning. It was basically a warning post basically stating that, you know, it's more and more druggings and robbings in actual Medellin right now. Okay. So be careful. I mean, it goes on all over Colombia, just not Medellin. So guys, just keep in mind that that's still very much a thing out there, even though they've been arresting women left and right. There have been documentaries about it, a lot of YouTube videos about it exposing the scopolamine thing in Colombia. It's still going on, probably going on more than, I'm not going to say more than usual because it usually kicks up around the holidays even more. But I do remember, I call it the beautiful days out in Medellin when I was there during COVID. It seemed like that just wasn't a thing. But now it's cranked back up. So if you're going to Colombia, just be careful about that. All right. Just be careful about that. Somebody says Fort Valley, Georgia. Okay, shout out to my man Passport Nuke in the building. I think I saw you on the app, brother. Shout out to you. All right, so let's get to it. We got 55 in the room. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button when you slide in the room. All right. So here we go.
And you think you're going to check me?
All right. So as you guys know, we're constantly in and out of airports and everything. Now, personally, I haven't had any incidents with check-in agents at the airport. Spirit is always a little sketchy. They're going to try to find you for whatever they can find you for. All right. But other than that, I haven't really had any incidents with any check-in agents. Actually, I've had more incidents of women looking out for me at the check-in. Okay, at check-in booking. But like I say, airport is crazy. It's crowded. That's a high stressful job. So I'm not going to just kind of get on the sisters about this little situation because I know it's a high intensity job dealing with, thousands of people weekly, almost probably on the daily, especially during the holidays. But this is an incident that happened. I'm not sure exactly what airport. I think they said it was in Dallas or something like that. Here we go.
The Mayday flight, you did, and you think you're going to check me in? I bet you we won't. Hey?
I paid for a ticket.
And you didn't pay $25 for an agent assistant, and you checked in 3 hours later. Hello.
I just said that I
was get on your flight.
Yeah, I just said that I would pay the $25.
And you thought you was going to get on your flight. And you thought you was going to get on your flight. And you thought you was going to get on your flight. And you thought you was going to get on your flight.
I literally paid for a ticket.
I think they fired old girl, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm here 30 minutes. I'm here 30 minutes before my flight, and they're not letting me check in.
And you're not getting on your flight.
Because it's a policy. We don't control that.
And you will never fly.
You were about to let me check in. You were about to let me check in. And you decided that you ain't gonna let me check in.
Make me check you in.
She got an attitude going.
You literally work for a company that I bought a plane ticket for. I'm here 30 minutes before the flight.
Can you please leave, sir?
No.
Can you please leave my personal space?
I'm not in your personal space. This is not.
She said her personal space.
Not your personal space.
This is my stationery.
This is not your personal space. You work for a company. This is not your personal space.
We ain't got to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about it. You're literally not doing your job for a customer that has paid for a plane ticket to get home.
I told you to stop putting the camera on me, sir.
That shit got to be frustrating. Somebody said Spirit Airline equal welfare airlines. Yeah, I've had a few incidents on Spirit, not as far as customer service, but flights being delayed, little normal stuff for the most part.
I'm literally here at Frontier. I bought a ticket and they are not letting me check in. For no reason whatsoever.
Well, you said you're never flying the airline again, so we might as well help you out and have you not fly the airline.
Even the little white dude a little sassy getting it in.
But I've already bought a ticket. I've literally already bought a ticket, and this is your reaction.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's something else right there. Somebody said they built a timeline. Yeah, I seen that statue. I have no idea why they did that. I'm trying to make us look bad. Somebody said, why not be nice to him? I'm not really sure. The like when you see these mini clips, you never really know the whole story unless you see the whole entire interaction. Like maybe he got smart with her You know, who knows? Maybe she was having a bad day. I think she got fired from her job and everything like that. But when you're dealing with like Frontier Airlines, Spirit Airlines, what's some other ones? Frontier, I think Alaska's kind of like a cheaper airline. You might deal with some attitudes. You might deal with some attitudes here and there, here and there. All right, here and there. Kevin Rome says, never had a problem checking in for a flight anywhere, but I've seen plenty. They've all involved Keisha's assistant plantation bros. Hey, man, you know what? That's like, you know, that's kind of like a high stress job, you know, so I always try to be, you know, cordial with them. I mean, you're flying out, you know, you probably, I mean, you're going on vacation basically in their eyes, you know, so especially if you're going overseas to Colombia or something, you're a single guy. I still remember when I was getting my visa for Brazil in 2017, and the visa agent, there was like a little expediting service out there in what's that? Not Dunwoody. It might have been Dunwoody. Somewhere in there. And it was a sister. She was just like trying to grill me on why I was going to Brazil by myself. So I get it. We almost got 100 in the room. Guys, do me a favor and make sure you hit that like button. Black British dude built that mummy statue in Times Square. Oh, mammy statue. Yeah, bro. I'm saying passport blueprint. Shout out to you, man. You got a nice little new icon too. Shout out to you. These women were contractors for Frontier Airlines. Frontier no longer uses this company because of this incident. Wow. That's got to be crazy to lose a contract. Cheap airlines equal terrible customer service. This is true. I think one of my favorite airlines is, besides Japan Airways, is probably Qatar is cool. I would say Delta is really good. You know, Delta be on point, even if they have delays, stuff like that. Yeah, you're paying for that customer service experience to a certain degree. That's why you pay a little extra for the higher price tickets. It's because of that. All right, so we got another. I think this video might have went viral as well. Moving on to another video here, guys. Let's see here. Now, this is hilarious. I've seen some guys react to it, but it just came across my feed not too long ago, so I'm going to play this video as well. Here we go.
Black man who's decided that dating black women in America is too hard for him, so he needs to go out of the country and take his business elsewhere.
She heated. You can tell by the beginning of the video, she heated. Now, we all know Passport Bros is all ethnicities at this point. All right. It did start with a black orientation. It started from, the roots of Black Men Travel Shot to Charles Tyler, the guys over there at the Black Man's Option. But now, it's a lot of guys in general from the West, where they're Asian, Latino, white or black. A lot of guys from the West are considered themselves to be Passport Bros. But she's coming directly at the bros on this particular video. She came in with some heat too, fellas.
Passport Bros phenomenon. If you don't know, Passport Bro is a black man who's decided that dating black women in America is too hard for him, so he needs to go out of the country and take his business elsewhere because the women here are taking advantage of him and we ain't worth nothing no way. So he's got to go get it elsewhere. It has been absolutely hilarious. I wish I could find the video, but I'm sure y'all have seen it. Video of this dude, I think he was in the Dominican Republic, literally saying that back in the day, you could come down here and you would not have to spend a lot of money to get girls' attention. You wouldn't have to spend that much money to court her and whatnot. And now that there have been all of these, an influx of men coming to the Dominican Republic and spending money on them, now they're starting to cost more. He's literally complaining about inflation on women. It has now become too much money for you. Even in the Dominican Republic, you don't have enough money. Is that not hilarious?
How's that equate to you not having enough money? I think in the black community, like being, budgeting well, deciding what you do with your own money, it's a problem for some people for some odd reason. If you're traveling in general, most guys that are traveling have some form of money.
I also want to point out that, so we were right all along. The problem is not that you don't want to spend money on women. It's that you don't have enough money, which is what we have been saying all along.
I'm lost with that statement right there. Who is we been saying all along that I guess black men don't have any money? But it's been proven that black men generally earn more money than them. it's been proven that we carry less debt than them, right? If guys choose not to spend all his money on you, that's his individual choice. But you wouldn't be an intelligent guy. You just going out here casually dating, spending all your money in America on women. Dating is way too expensive.
A hit dog will holler. If I say that when I'm in a relationship, I want a man to spend money on me, I say it in a room full of men, whatever man raises his hand and says that he shouldn't have to do that, or it doesn't make any sense, or it's not fair, open his wallet up. Open it up, and you will see nothing.
All right, so she angry. You know, she's kind of, I'm not trying to criticize her. She's a nice looking, you know, young lady. I'm pretty sure she has makeup and, you know, extensions and all that other stuff. But these women, man, some of these American women, not all, but some of these American women really be trying to compete with a certain range of women that they shouldn't be competing with. All right. That's a whole nother world that the average female is just not going to be in it. Even if she is in, she's not going to be in it past 25. All right. That sugar daddy shit, that, you know, that video vixen, you know, women getting paid, you know, being bought Bentleys and stuff by NBA players and, you know, high earners and everything. That's a short window. All right. And it's a woman turning 19, 20, 21 every day right now. So she's a little bit above average. I mean, she's trying to get in guys' pockets. She's basically a culturated, I'm not gonna call her a prostitute per se, but I mean, guys can see her angle. You know, she just wanted to use guys, finesse guys to get all the money to pay her bills so she can kind of stack her cheese up and do what she wants. She's one of the type of females that she'll get flown out on vacation and not show who she's with on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? She's one of them type of females.
You'll see nothing in there because the men who have the money don't have a problem spending the money. Because when a man likes you, I've been saying this for forever because it is true. When a man really likes you and he's serious about you, he's intentional with you, and he is dedicated to being with you, he wants to take care of you. He wants to spend money on you. He wants to provide for you. So again, the issue was not that we want men to provide for us. The issue was not that we want men to spend money on us. The issue was that you didn't have the money.
She just contradicted herself. That's why I don't do a lot of these videos, because if you just let somebody talk long enough, they'll always contradict themselves. All right, especially her. She just said in the beginning of her conversation that women want guys to spend money on them, right? She wants guys to spend money on her and whatnot if they like it. Now she's kind of flipping the script and saying, oh, you just don't have it. All right, do we have it or don't we have it? You know, because if you're traveling overseas, right, generally speaking, guys overseas, besides a few little, you know, IRL live streamers, but besides those guys, most guys have it together when they're overseas. Bro. Let's just be honest. All right, it's a much better option.
Because the women here take a glorious. This is a glorious time to be alive. Honestly, it is. Getting to watch this in real time is one of my favorite things about my life currently. It is. I'm sorry.
That's one of her favorite things in real time is to diss the Passport Bros. All right. To watch the Passport Bros crashing out overseas. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. All right, let me go ahead and I did a reaction video of this gentleman right here. And I'm going to go ahead and debunk him right off the rip. I'm going to also debunk another video that he did. Where's this video? Okay, here we go.
Husbands, cousins, brothers.
All right. I'm not going to play the entire video. I know most of you guys maybe have seen it. I'll play a little bit of the video. This is basically a dude so-called exposing the Passport Bros. Okay. I'll play a little bit of it.
Uncles and daddies was all in Cartagena this weekend. I traveled to Cartagena to meet one of my friends who was traveling from Ecuador just for the weekend. It was my first time in Cartagena, and my God in heaven, y'all did not lie about the Passport Bro. Baby, I got off the plane. I didn't know where I was at. It was black men as far as the eye could see. I took a little video while I was in the immigration line. They was grouped up and duped up.
Okay, so I want to point this out right here. He's going to do a little spin around. Hold on, let me see if I can find that little part. Now I want you guys to peep what he said. He said the line was full of bros, which wouldn't have been a problem if it was. Let me see if I can find it. As you can see,
I cannot believe this. I didn't want this to be true, but it's true. I'm listening up.
So he did like a little quick spin.
I didn't fucking bright. So I got this. I'm speechless.
There you go. So he did a little quick spin right here. This is him with the phone. All right. So more than likely, those guys were like part of a group or something like that. As you can see, he didn't show the whole 360 though. He just kind of showed it. So let's see what the line really looked like. Hold on. Let's pull up. Let's see what the line in immigration in Cartagena really looked like. That was the line that day. Same line that he was supposedly in Cartagena that day. Okay. So he's probably in the front up there somewhere around some guys that might be having a group trip. It might have been one of the groups or something like that. Maybe having a group trip to Cartagena. All right. But this was the actual line that day in Cartagena. Okay. As you can see, it's many other people in that line. So right off the rip, he's capping. And more or less, he was going out there for the same thing those guys were going out there for. Because he just happened to be in the line next to them, being close enough to look at their cell phone, seeing what they downloaded, and be eavesdropping conversations. All right. Yeah, he tried to go viral with the Gotta moment. So he doubled down. He made another video, family. Hold on. He made another video. All right. And maybe he didn't get the reaction he wanted. Maybe he wanted, you know, in these viral videos, people right now, the internet is all about proving your narrative, proving your case. As you can see, you got certain influencers like Dr. Umar, who went from actually having a conscious, you know, legitimate issue with the status quo at B and, you know, and all that, to now he's just proving, you know, the snow bunny thing. That's his thing now. So he's constantly just proving the narrative. Everything's out the window. All the money from the school that Dr. Umar had that I donated to, I'm still pissed off about. All right. And he targets black women because the black women won't generally hold him accountable. They'll snitch on him. They'll call him out. But it's usually the men that hold other men accountable, right? So he's kind of always throwing the bros under the bus with the whole snow bunny thing. You know, he's dick police and everything like that. But the school is not here a decade later, and people donate their hard-earned money to that school. The FDMG. I'm still pissed about that. That's why I brought it up. But you know, people put their hard-earned money towards the school, and now all he does right now is try to prove his narrative. All right. So that's what this guy's doing. That's what he's doing. So he did another video. All right, and this hella cap. Let me pull this up.
And I didn't see this firsthand.
Okay. So keep in mind, in his previous video, he was just there to kind of meet a friend, but somehow he ends up in all these tourist locations, right, with the so-called passport bros. So now he's at like one of those islands. You know, you guys in Cartagena, you can take a little speedboat to some of the little offshore islands. And then those islands, they have like little parties and stuff like that. So he's out here. All right. Once again, probably participating in the same thing everybody else is participating in. All right. But so this is what he has to say. This is his second video about the so-called passport bros.
But I'm going to tell you what I did see. We took a boat tour ride, and it takes you around different islands around Cartagena. And we went to like 3 or 4 different islands, and the last island was a party island. As you can see, it was an island. It was basically a sandbar in the middle of the ocean. And when we pulled up, I mean, it's boats and boats and boats of passport bros, tourists, or you name it. They is at this sandbar in the ocean. And the tour guide was like, you know, when we get there, we got a table for y'all. We gonna turn up. We got a DJ, da. Girl, turn out the tables. It's sitting in the water. You see them fucking picnic tables in the water. The water is murky. It was.
That water doesn't really look murky to me. He's just trying to climb. All right.
time. When I got off the boat, I just immediately stood in the corner to try to survey what the fuck was going on, because it was so many people on that island. It was so many people in the water. It was so many boats. I just stood in the corner, and when my friend that I met on the tour, she got off the boat behind me. She was like, "Why is you over here standing in the corner with your arms forward?" And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, y'all know I work in law enforcement, so I survey every scene when it's boogle people like this.
Queen Zesty works in law enforcement, but you don't want to get put over by him. He's gonna definitely search you.
I got to see what the fuck is going on. I got to see what's going on, who is on this island, who is walking behind me. I got to see what the hell is happening. So I get my margaritas, and I'm 3 margaritas in, and I'm having a good time. I done put aside that we got all these people around us. I done put aside that we in this murky water. I done put aside the passport bros is walking around with their big bellies out and aluminum chains.
Now, he doesn't look to be super in shape himself. All right. He got the camera kind of close up on him. His edges are cut off a little bit. He looked like the type of guy that would have a belly with a thong on.
It's sparkling in the sunlight out. And
somebody said, Atlanta, take this L. Why he got to be from Atlanta? He could be from anywhere. You do sound like from ATL though.
And we getting ready to go because now it's time for us to go. And I pay attention. I'm looking across the table, and then I see a group of little girls in the water too, and they just, they huddled around. And I'm in my head, I'm like, that's suspicious.
Now, so we don't know if that's true or not, right? More or less, this could be all cap. Unless he went out there and identified the girls and got their IDs or something like that, this could be easily capped. All right. He didn't take any video whatsoever. And he's constantly taking videos. So why not take a video of that part? All right. So we kind of got to take his word for it, even though he's already lying about the immigration line. So this guy's, like I said, he's just all cap. He just took it there to demonize us even more.
But I'm drunk, so I'm not really paying attention.
He said he's drunk. I'm drunk. He said that. Somebody said he lives in Atlanta, but he's not from Atlanta. He's from Philly. Yeah, he's lucky from Philly. He lucky from Philly or something, man. We ain't taking this L.
So one of the little girls catch me looking in their direction, and she spins around. Now, all of them got on bathing suits. She spins around. The girls are like they 13, 14, 15 years old.
Cap. We all know they don't play that right now in Medellin. That's cap. That's 100% cap. All right. If this story is true, maybe they was like 20, 21, 22. All right. And why were they looking at him? And why was he looking at them? All right.
Max, 13, 14, 15. The little girl spins around and she has on a thong bikini. And when I saw that, I said, well, my God, what the fuck is going on here? And I was like, you know what? Let me get my ass back on this motherfucking boat because I don't know what this is. But it ain't supposed to be. As she spins around, she got on some denim shorts around, her ankle. She pulling them up, and she's pulling them up very seductively. And I'm looking like, girl, you is barking up the wrong tree. Find you another mark. I'm getting on the boat. So we getting on.
But you don't even like girls, bro. So why are you going through? Why is she flirting with you? And it looks like you don't like. If maybe you do like females, I don't know. But this story is just all suspicious and cap. All right. It could have been a regular average age female out there, if it was a female out there at all.
On the boat, and I'm trying to make sure I don't motherfucking slip on the boat because we climbing up a step ladder to get on a fucking speedboat in the middle of the water. It was a lot going on. So as I'm getting on the boat, I notice that there's a boat next to us. And the boat next to us, I'm drunk, y'all. So I really don't know who was on the boat, who was driving the boat, but I saw them little girls on that boat. And when I saw it, I said, how the fuck did they get out here? This sandbar is 30, 40 minutes out from the city. You cannot drive here. You got to take a boat there. They got other little towns around, but they not. It didn't give me that they was from them little towns. Not too many people live in them towns. How did them little children get on that island? And what the fuck was they doing there? This island is for adults. And when y'all,
man, this dude is zesty as hell, bro. This guy's zesty as hell.
was commenting this unlocked a memory in my head, and I was putting it together because when I be on vacation, I really gonna be paying attention to all this. Like, I'm safe, I'm always scanning my surroundings, but I ain't really.
You drunk though. You drunk. You noticing everything. Supposedly, you don't even know where you at, but you drunk.
I'm not checking for this. I'm not checking for no prostitutes and whatnot. That's not my thing. But in this situation, it was hard to not see it because it was just so prevalent and it's just so in your face. And when y'all was commenting this made me think about these children that I saw on the island, and I said, my God.
Stick his little tongue out. He's just full of shit. This dude is full of shit, bro. He's full of it.
I'm speechless. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Don't let none of this deter you from visiting Cartagena. It is a beautiful city. They have a lot of culture. The food is good. The people are amazing. But there's some things. There's a lot of wrong going on.
Your whole situation is wrong. All right, let me get super chats. I'm gonna bring my man John in the building. Hold on, I got you. Give me 1 second. Let me get super chats. I'm gonna bring you right on, brother. All right, shout out to my man, original man with a $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. Cap, he's mad because hetero men don't crave his hole. While the men are living it up, he's craving Poppy Chulo rods for his lonely hole. He wants DNA. Okay, bro. All right, okay, man. All right, hold on. I got one more super chat here. Shout out my man, original man with the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. It says law enforcement, yeah, okay. Pull over, stop, and frisk, body cavity searches. Right. Somebody said he was selling pussy. Nobody was buying. All right. Let me bring up man out, John, man. What's going on, brother?
What up, BFT? How's it going, man?
Was that you that shared it in the group? The picture?
Yeah, that was me that shared the picture of that you just showed about the
okay.
I was wondering where all those black men were in the line. You know what I'm saying? They say we the only ones. I was like, I gotta share this because this is cap. This is cap, man. Everything that dude said, I mean, I could put holes in all his stories. First of all, this is proof right there. I don't see a black man in the line. Not one. I mean, we get like at least 3 to 4 million visitors. Cartagena is one of the most visited cities in Latin America right now. I mean, we hot. So we got everybody coming. Indians, we got Canadians, we got Australians. I'm like, what is this dude talking about? Number two is, ain't nobody trying to download Tinder right in the damn immigration line. I mean, like, really, bro? Then when he was talking about, now I'm sure he doesn't even speak a lick of Spanish. So how the hell he know what the damn staff was talking about? That's crazy. They're so used to seeing us coming back and forth through that line. They don't care nothing about it. They're glad to have us. You know what I'm saying?
Spend out American dollars.
Exactly. They're happy when they see people coming through because that's like creating keeping their job secure. You know what I'm saying? Then the part where he said in the first video, oh, these guys had on all this fake jewelry. Anybody, I mean, come on, that's almost like part of the 10 Commandments that you don't travel to Cartagena or any of these Latin countries like sporting a lot of jewelry. Now, don't get me wrong. Occasionally a guy will come through and he's rolling like that. But for the most part, these guys ain't that dumb. A guy got killed over a chain that was probably, I mean, you could barely see it. Like when I first got here 2 years ago. So that's all. Number two, on that story that he was talking about at Cholome, first of all, my girl is from Cartagena. She had never been to Cholome in her life. These people are too poor. You got to be able to rent a boat, okay, to get out to this island. And it ain't cheap. You talking each guy most guys will put in on a group and they'll be like, we'll put in $150, $200 a piece, up to $2,000. Okay. You think that they're going to go out there with some kids? Nah, bro. Nah. He is just trying to sabotage the movement. And I mean, if you speak the truth, I can back that. But when you just flat out lying, this guy's flat out lying. Remember when he was saying something about, the girl had a thong and she was pulling it to her knees? How you going to do that in 5 feet of water? In Cholome, it's like little bars inside of the water. Now I'm 6 foot tall and the water comes up to about right here on me. So imagine a little girl. How did he see all that? You know what I'm saying? We got no videos of him on the boat. I don't even think he was in Cartagena, because to me, it looks like his video, he never showed him doing any damn thing. He never showed him.
Right.
And his friend from Ecuador, Eduardo, you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, bro. Ain't nobody paying you no attention. And if he's got so many facts, why the hell would you be around that? I brought my friend and his I invited my best friend and his wife down and took them around. His wife did not say one word about prostitutes the whole trip. All she said was, Jay, I had a great time. Thank you for inviting us down or whatever. So you got to be looking for that. You got to be in those particular areas to like see it, especially nowadays. Like ever since the mayor cleaned things up, that shit ain't going down at the clock tower like it used to go. Matter of fact, the red light district has moved out where I'm putting my Airbnb on the south side of town. So this dude is capped, man. This guy is just capping for clicks. You know what I'm saying? And trying to ruin the movement. But I'm here to tell him. I'm here to tell him, bro, you full of shit.
Facts. You know, it's crazy. Like you mentioned, one of the biggest things you mentioned was that he was not in none of the videos. Like what zesty black man, you know, ain't gonna show him.
He gonna be on there twerking right with them. He gonna be twerking with the ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He gonna be all in the video. He gonna have his little mini thong going.
Exactly, bro. And first of all, you're in South America. Yes, the chicks wear thongs, but for him to sit there and say, "Oh, these girls on this island or whatever." First of all, let me tell you something about Cholon. Nobody goes to Cholon by themselves, okay? There's no girls waiting in Cholon. You have to take the girls with you on your boat. So normally it's like for every guy that's on the boat, they'll have a woman with them that maybe they paid or maybe not, you know? But that's an individual preference. But for him to say like, all these little kids were waiting there, there's no kids hanging out there. Now, there are some locals that live on the island, but they're just serving drinks. They work out there. And I've never, in 2 years, I've never seen no kids serving drinks out there. Never. So, like I said, this guy's cap, and he's just looking for attention because, you know, right now it's hot with the, you know, the Passport Bro name is hot. And so a lot of these chicks come down here to get views or whatever. Matter of fact, most of the, even the black chicks that come through, and I have nothing against them, but a lot of them get upset and make these videos because they're not getting no love. You know what I'm saying? They're used to that energy that they're getting in the United States. So when they come over here and it's like nobody's paying you any attention. I just had a couple cousins come down that I haven't seen them since I was like 4 or 5. So I don't even remember what they look like, but they contacted me on YouTube and said, "Hey, we're coming in town." And it was like 28 of them. And you know what? Not one guy approached them. Not one guy tried to talk to them. Not like they were just partying on their own. And that's usually how it is when they come here. They get in their own little section. You got the studs coming in town. They're doing their thing or whatever. I believe he was here looking for, you know, Fernando. That's what I think.
Right.
But that guy's full of cap, man. You know what I'm saying? And he made a second video because he's just trying to ride this little wave he got going on. But I'm like, this is crazy.
Well, you know, he does like his little TikTok is 90-day fiance reviews. That's mostly his content. So you see how that's he's trying to work his way into that travel space with the 90-day fiance reviews.
For sure. It's definitely an agenda, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, this is my thing, right? Who cares? If them brothers, let's say if it is, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It's all brothers in the line. What's wrong with us being happy? You know what I'm saying? If things were good for us in the US in the dating market, then we would stay there. Why would we travel unless we're looking for greener pastures? And my thing is, if they want to say, well, you guys just paying for it or whatever, I feel like you're paying for it anyway. If you go in Atlanta, Chicago, New York, any of these major cities, you're talking $200-$300 for a basic date. And these chicks think that that's too cheap. They're talking about you need to get their hair done, their nails done. So you know, my opinion is, man, I done spent way money on wives. I done spent way money on dating and girlfriends in the U.S. than I ever have in Colombia or DR or any of these other countries. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that it's bad when they're trying to shame guys because they're trying to enjoy their best life, you know, and that's a shame. But all I see, man, when I just left the beach today, and I'm like, it just warms my heart to see brothers out here having a good time, enjoying themselves, ain't nobody bothering nobody or whatever. But it seems like there's an agenda against. I'm not going to say it seems like it's more pointed at us. Now we know, especially you in Thailand, I know it's everybody traveling, but it seems like they have a problem with us traveling and having a good time. But I'm just like, this supposed to be the days been pissing me off, bro.
It's like we're supposed to be the brunt bearers of everything, you know, bad in the United States. Basically, like we shouldn't be allowed to travel almost.
Oh yeah, just put your head down and be miserable. All the happy, you know, I'm Generation X, like happy wife, happy life, that bullshit. You know what I mean,
bro? So I didn't even see too many brothers in Atlanta over 30 that was smiling. But you overseas, you're gonna see brothers smiling.
Let me tell you something, BMT. Before I moved to Colombia, you know, suffering through PTSD and war and all the other stuff that I've been through, I was a recluse, bro. Like I literally was a house husband. I was doing everything that I could possibly do to support this woman. Matter of fact, Marcus posted a clip from a video saying that that basically I got the hell out, you know what I'm saying, after she kept threatening me and saying you need to get out of my house because she had closed on a house, but it was in such a great area. I was like,
you talking about the nurse, right?
Yeah, if I would have put my name on it, then it would have messed up the interest rates. And she got it, you know how you get like the pre-built sale. We were locked into that. So I was like, I don't give a damn whose name the house in. By the way, that was my wife. That wasn't just no chick I just moved in with. You know what I mean? But when she said go, it's like the next day I'm in Colombia, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? But after I left, I wore my husband. I miss you so much. I wish you would come back or whatever. But man, I got over here to Colombia, and it's like now, bro, it's like I got thousands of friends. I got such a big network here, and seeing brothers having a good time and happy, man. That's the most like rewarding thing for me, is just seeing brothers smiling, saying, man, bro, I watched your video, or I watched BMT, or I watched Marcus, and you guys have encouraged me to start traveling. Matter of fact, I was a house husband when I first caught on to Marcus, and it kind of resonated with me when you said the same thing. He kind of encouraged me to travel, because I was sitting at home bored to death trying to do the right thing. You know, I was retired, so I was like, oh, I'll do all the cooking, cleaning. I'm like, she bringing home that big money. I mean, I had my own money, you know what I'm saying? But I felt like, okay, if she's working full time, the least I can do while I'm here all day is clean up, do whatever. And it still wasn't appreciated. So I'm like, deuces, man, you know. But over here, I ain't got to lift a finger, not one finger. And I tell you what, man, that woman has treated me pretty much like a king since I've been here, you know, and I don't disrespect her. I treat her good, you know what I'm saying? Because she deserves it. But I just want to bust some of those narratives. You know, they say, oh, you guys are taking advantage of these poor women from this third world country. My girl is college educated. She's a homeowner. She has 2 kids as engineers. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. You know what I mean? But that's what they want them to believe, that we're just taking advantage and this stuff messing with little girls, man. Come on, bro. I know most of the real passport bros, they ain't down with no messing with kids, man.
Facts.
I don't know who them dudes are, but that's
of course. And the dudes are always getting caught in Colombia with that bullshit. It's never us. Right? Never us. Never us. I got you, Passport Blueprint. Let me read a couple of these comments, man. I'm see what you got to say. Play Dog says, BMT, you started something that spiraled out of control. You created a category form storm. I wouldn't say I did all that. Okay. I wouldn't say I did all that. All right. What up? What up, Edwin Thomas Sr.? What's good, brother? I think I said, oh, you're a t-shirt, man. We got to chop it up. What up, Passport Blueprint? What's good with you?
What's going on, fellas? Salute,
What's
salute.
happening?
It's good, man. We getting attacked
I find it very
by
interesting.
these zesty dudes, bro.
What was that?
I said we getting attacked by these zesty dudes. What's going on?
I find it interesting for someone in law enforcement, especially a movie that just came out, Sound of Freedom. You're going to go to a place known for that type of illicit behavior. That's something questionable, something that needs to be brought to your superiors about that. Because I'm wondering, what are you actually down there? Who's Eduardo? How old is
right? Facts.
Yeah.
Don't no man just go overseas and just like, oh, I'm just gonna visit this random guy in Ecuador.
How come you ain't going to Ecuador?
Right. You just happen to meet in Cartagena, and you happen to be in all these red light districts. Just happen to be there, just walking through, I guess.
And I don't know what's his issue. And I kind of have some suspect about some of this video and stuff, because you can get that stuff off the net. You know, you can get all that stuff off the internet and just put his little image over there and said he was there. So I'm wondering, was he actually there?
Facts. It looked to me that he just got a video behind him and he's just kind of like, putting it as a background, but he hasn't shown proof, at least that I've seen yet, that he's actually even here.
Yeah, you know, usually you're there in the streets, you got a background of yourself there. I don't see any of that stuff. All I just see is a little green screen of a picture of, you know, the airport or the video and stuff like that, and just a little square of him talking about it. So is that actually true that he actually went there?
Like I say, man, once I saw his 90-day fiance review content, I was like, okay, he one of these guys. He wants to go viral so he can get, and the way to go viral is to kind of shame or put the, you know, include the Passport Bros into your content, right?
Right.
So, everybody
what they say, when you're hot, they talk about you. So I guess the Passport Bros is hot. So because he's talking,
especially on TikTok, because a certain time a month on TikTok, everybody start going after Passport Bros so they can get their little coins or whatever, so they can make their, you know, pay or whatever. That's what I've noticed on TikTok. I don't know, not so much here on YouTube, but everybody starts going after Passport Bros at a certain time a month.
That's facts. That's facts. I got some questions for you. And is it Ja or Jay, bro? I'm sorry for pronouncing
Jay.
Jay. Okay, Jay. Like, what's some of the differences you see in Cartagena and Medellin, besides outside the weather and the beach?
So, for those that don't know, and this is one of the things that surprised me, because when I actually moved here, I had never been here before in life. All I had to go by was my research on YouTube. So one of the things that amazingly surprised me of how many people look like us. So the ship stopped here on the coast, right? So most of the people in Cartagena are more of the dark skin complected Afro-Colombian type. They have like champeta, which is like African beat type of Spanish music. When you go to Medellin, most of the chicks are more fair-skinned, more of the Spaniard type of looking chick or whatever. So that was one of the things that probably I would say is the biggest difference, you know. And I would be willing to put money on it that well, it's a fact. They've done the numbers. Cartagena is way safer than Medi right now.
That was gonna be my next question. That would be my next question.
Yeah. Medi right now got some problems with the scoping and everything. And you know what? If I were to say it's I think that a majority of the scoping, it's on the guys. And the reason I say that is because, first of all, why are you trying to cuddle up all night with a chick that you don't even know? You know what I'm saying? It's like in Medi, I mean, as many videos as out there.
Got my boy Jay Clyde in here, bro.
You should know, like, do what you gonna do, bro, and get her out of there. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is these guys fall asleep. They put that stuff under their nose or whatever, or get it in their system some kind of way. And some of them may never wake up. I couldn't sleep in those conditions, to be honest with you. Or they'll try to have, you know, the three-way, thinking it's because of their looks or whatever. Usually when it's two girls and they're that aggressive for that or whatever, it's like they're setting you up. I mean, you can almost see it coming. You know what I'm saying? And
okay, but real quick, but what about the motos, like the guys pulling up, you know what I'm saying, robbing? I think that's kind of is that kind of heavy in Cartagena too, though?
Not really, because Cartagena, they don't allow two people on the motos, and they don't really allow the motos within like the tourist areas. Most of the motos with two people, they're out in the barrios. So they do that for a particular reason. So they can drop clients off like right there at the edge of the wall city, but they can't come in. And they don't want them in like Boca Grande and Castillo Grande, over where Hollywood Beach is, the popular tourist areas. So you don't really have those issues there. Your biggest problems are going to be when, like, I give you an example. I was looking at when Jay Rello was streaming when he was in Medellin, right?
Oh,
and I saw him make a mistake right off the bat. You know, he let the chick get the damn ride for him back to the spot. That's like rule number one. You don't do that. You get your own ride, bro, because a lot of times they're teamed up with these drivers. If they say they got their own, no, I'm good. All you need is an Uber app, or they got another app called Didi. It's just like InDrive, which you was in Medellin, right? Did you ever use InDrive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So InDrive, you know, you can set your own price. So Didi is the same way. The only difference is that you can use a credit card but it's easier because a lot of times some people won't respond to Ubers. They're not paying them enough to come to certain areas or whatever. So, I mean, there's no reason to let a girl get an Uber. There's no reason to ever do that. And of course, you know, Smarts 101, lock your stuff up before you even bring them there, you know. But a lot of guys, man, it's caused by alcohol and drugs. They get out there and they stop remembering common sense. And the thing about it is, you know, in Atlanta, Chicago, any of these major cities, bro, you still got to move a certain type of way. You know, I'm from Chicago, but I can't go to certain parts of it and get caught slipping. You know what I mean? So it's the same way over here. And then if guys want to compare numbers, I mean, we had 70 murders one week in Chicago. You know what I mean? So, but if two people get killed in Medellin or somewhere, oh man, it's a travel ban. It's you know, the whole world is falling apart. But I see it all the time.
Hold on, let me just chat. I'm gonna play devil's advocate with you in a second. Go ahead. Shout out to Data_CPA with super chat. I got your email, but I'm gonna reach out back out to you. He says, I love it when they bring up Passport Bros. It triggers all the American women. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Shout out to my man Data_CPA with the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. Now you mentioned like the violence in Chicago and everything like that.
Yeah.
Don't you think that like in Chicago, you know, this is probably going to be, I mean, yeah, those are like gangs, bad areas, bad territory, stuff like that for the most part. In Medellin in particular, don't you feel like we're more targeted because we're not from there? Most of us don't know the language and we are tourists.
Well, of course.
The thing is, no, don't get me wrong. But don't get me wrong, you know, people with money, they have their issues too. They're moving a certain way as well. But the thing about robbing us, it's like we're an easy target because first of all, we don't know where we at. More likely, we got to go home at some point. And if they rob another fellow Colombian, they got to be kind of looking over their shoulder, right? Absolutely. And they never know who that Colombian person knows because but a lot of Colombian people knows the underworld or have, you know, can reach out to the underworld to get something done to somebody else. So don't you think that we're a little bit more of a target that makes it a little bit more dangerous?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're definitely a target for sure. And that's why when guys do things that's going to cause them to stand out, it's going to cause problems. You know what I mean? But a lot of us, because you got to think, they know most Americans because we dress a certain way. We got a different type of swag or whatever. I would push back against I guess the guy that was talking about, I think it was in the chat saying something about Cartagena is really sketchy outside of the tourist area.
Let me put that. I was just going to read that, man. Cartagena is really sketchy outside the tourist area.
So I'll say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It may look sketchy, but to be honest, I like being out. I'm in the barrio. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm in a newer area in the barrio, but it's still the barrio. You know what I'm saying? It's not in a tourist area. And everything around my area is just like regular, normal people. Most of those people just go about their day minding their own business. Now, I don't carry cell phones. I don't, you know, I'm carrying a bag in front of me. I got everything hidden. I'm not flashing money. I don't have any jewelry on or any of that. So they think I'm just one of them. You know what I mean? But obviously, if you're coming out there, you're on your cell phone at the bus at the corner or whatever, yes, a moto's going to come up and snatch your phone out, because that iPhone 16 or whatever, that's 3 or 4 months of eating for them, because the iPhones are more expensive here because they have to import everything, and with the taxes or whatever, like it costs way more than it does in the United States. And they got people that will unlock them, so that little lock on it doesn't mean anything, you know. And you know, I mean, another guy that was saying, I'm from the West Side, but I mean, as far as the numbers in Chicago or whatever, yes, they have had weekends where they have had murders of up to 70 people. I mean, it was all over the news. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not trying to say it's right or wrong or whatever, you know what I mean? But that's just how it is. But don't sit and say like the cities in America are so much more safer. You know what I mean? I know plenty of guys that go to the hoods in Chicago and New York, and they become marks because they're not from there. If you hang around poor people who don't have anything and you're out here flashy, you're going to become a lick. I don't care where you're at. And you just got to use that same common sense here, in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Passport Blueprint, you want to speak on that matter? I don't think you've been to Colombia.
Yeah, he's totally right on that. It's just, and then you still got guys that still go down there with wearing jewelry and being flashy and stuff, and you can't go in those areas. I mean, how many times, BMT, have you put this on your show about wearing jewelry down there? I mean, a lot of content creators have said this over and over again, and yet, I mean, we still got guys still doing it. Now, this guy, the Zesty one, he was saying there was a lot of guys wearing jewelry up in the airport, which
that's how I know that. That's why I knew he was capping.
Yeah. I mean, that didn't sound right at all, you know.
No, if he would have said one or two guys, but he was acting like almost every guy that line.
Exactly.
On all this. And how do you know it's fake? Now, the stuff that they make now, you literally have to test it almost to see if it's fake or not. That's how good they're getting with this stuff. But he's I guess because he's the police, he's the D police, so I guess he's the regular police now. I don't even believe he has nothing to do. Maybe he works at the local jail or something like that, you know, trying to look.
He probably works in telecommunications.
Right.
he might work in the jail. You never know. He might work in Fulton County Jail. You know what I'm saying? He might. But let me ask you this, Jay. You know, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, brother.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You know, some people say that, you know, these passport bros, you know, they're capping and the women only want them for money and green cards. Do you think it's still in 2025 where, you know, a lot more tourists are coming in, a lot more women are having relations with Americans and stuff like that? Do you think it's still possible to find a genuine relationship in these tourist areas or cities like Cartagena and Medellin?
Okay. Can you find love in Colombia? Absolutely. I've been in a relationship with the same chick for like almost 2 years. I've met 5 other high-level, high-value women. I'm talking about a doctor, a lawyer, and even a semi-famous chick down here. You know what I'm saying? I put it all in my group, so it's not like I had pictures, everything to prove with receipts and everything. But a majority of the men that come here, I'm just going to keep it 100. a lot of them, they're just pay for play. And I'm not against that. I think I think if you're only going to be here for 3 days to a week, that's what you should be looking for. You're not going to find these high level chicks that's just going to sleep with you, over, a quickie. Now, don't give me, there's always the exception. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just going to say the majority of my girls' friends, they don't want nothing to do with no American. Like, unless he lives here, they don't want nothing to do with you. So, like I said, it's if you live here, you definitely have a good shot at finding a good woman. If you're just visiting and you're only hanging out in the red light districts, absolutely not. Absolutely not. She's our girl. And that's basically what it comes down to. And that's probably the hardest thing about being Unc J here in Cartagena, because I see guys come in, they're having a good time, and then they'll send me like a picture of them with the chick, and they'll be like, man, no, bro, she's a regular chick. She has a job. I was like, bro, no, she's not. I see her every weekend in the club. I see her on the beach. You know what I'm saying? And I tell guys, there's a lot of, like, you can look at like, what do you call it? Tinder, and you can look at the pictures that they post, right? Do normal women down here, they don't post pictures on yachts. They can't afford no yacht. My girl had never been on a yacht, and she had money. My girl had never been on any balcony in none of these fancy hotels here. So the signs are there, and they damn sure not going to have thong pics on, for the public to see. So that's kind of how I do.
We call them Gusto's bathroom.
Right. They
like,
turn the booty toward the camera, but guys, they think like, and I get it, because it's a lot of brothers out here, especially in the U.S., man. They're as Ronan like to say, they starving. You know what I mean? And they're in a lot of sexless relationships, and a lot of guys, let's be honest, they haven't had anything over a 6 or 7. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying I think that a majority of guys back in the United States, because I look at some of them and what they pick here. I literally know guys, they'll come down here, and it's like they're afraid to approach the really like beautiful ones. And it seems like they want something close to what they're used to back at home because it's comfortable. And I have to tell them, I'm like, bro, all these chicks are going. All of them. What? She's yes, bro. I don't give a damn how good she looked. If she's out here at this spot, she's working, but they'll believe it. And unfortunately, a lot of brothers then got hurt, man. I get emails every day about how this chick is doing this to him, and do I think that she's a pro or whatever. And I'm like, bro, don't no regular chick hang out all night and sleep all day. It just doesn't work like that. She's not in college. Of course, the semi-pro always starting a business. She's always got something going on where she wants you to invest.
You're trying to call them out now.
Yeah, man, it is what it is, man. But
let me get this comment real quick by East J. If you don't live there, visiting very often or planning or on bringing her to the States, a relationship will be difficult. Now, do you get a lot of that out there about bringing? I mean, do women constantly want to go back in the States? I think I heard that more in the DR than I did in Colombia. I didn't hear much of that in Colombia, but I did hear the DR. They was just like, yeah, I want to go to New Jersey, and I'm just like, oh, shit, I gotta watch you. Right. Do you hear a lot of that out there in Cartagena?
Say it again.
Do you hear a lot of women trying to get back to the States in Cartagena? Like, do they be saying, hey, I want to go back to America with you?
So I think it's half and half, because these people love their country, to be honest with you. So most would actually, now, if it's true love, most of them prefer for you to stay in their country, because they got like 18 holidays down here. Christmases are very important. Easter, like the Holy Week just passed for Easter. And if you take one of these women over to your country, where, especially if they don't know the language or anything like that, they're going to be miserable, because they're used to that family environment. We're kind of used to, families over here, and we kind of do. I know I got used to it from the military. Like, it's nothing for me to be away from home. And to be honest with you, like I said, I got more friends here since I've been here, I mean, most of them are Americans that come, but most of the guys that I meet, man, they've been down here 10 times in the last year. You know, it's literally guys that have decided, you know what? I'm going to work my butt off, chase the bag, but I'm not dating in the US. I'm just going to come down here, have a good time, and go back. Now you got some they got so-called girlfriends, but they need to really stay away from that. I would not get a girlfriend or call her a girlfriend unless I actually lived here, especially with these girls. I mean,
what if you visit like maybe once a month?
That's still not enough, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It's still not enough. I knew a guy that was sending a girl $3,000 a month, and she was still in them streets. So it's never enough. But he really
I know a guy that was sending a girl $2,000 a month.
Yeah, he really thought that was his girl.
But isn't that a vetting issue more or less than a distance issue? You know what I'm saying?
Let's say she works at the regular 9 to 5.
Right.
Not in the game at all.
I still think it's unrealistic to, even if she's a regular chick, you know, being in a long distance, it's not like you're talking California and Colorado or any, you know, between major cities. You're talking a whole country. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how realistic that is. And a lot of these women, they're very they're very sexual. They're very in tune with their femininity in relationships or whatever. So I don't know. Like I love mine to death, man. She hasn't done anything to make me ever think that she would ever betray me, but I always sleep with one eye open. You know what I mean? Even though she's never, like I said, she's never done nothing. According to her son, like I'm the only man that he's ever met in his life other than his dad. You know, she was married like 25 years. So I got pretty lucky, but like I said, I don't even consider it luck because like I said, I dated other regular women, but I just think guys won't take time to learn the language. They only want to hang out in the tourist spots. So they kind of, you know, the tourist spots is where the baddies are because, you know, they got all the BBLs, lips, they got everything, you know, they're working. So they're going to always be at their best. So a lot of times these gyms get overlooked in the barrios or a guy's afraid, which I don't recommend a guy that's just visiting to come to the barrio. I don't even recommend that unless he knows someone, you know. But when I brought Marcus out here, within 2 days, Marcus was good, but he listened to what I was saying and he kind of moved accordingly, and it worked out good for him. And all the ones that he met, when he left it at that. He never called me and was like, "Oh man, she's still this, she still wants this, she still is that's my girl." He never said that. He just, it's my turn, I'm gonna have fun and keep it moving.
Well, the reason why I said that is because I know guys that have, like, I'm in the Phoenix area. And I know a guy, he's in California, and he has a girl in Mexico. And it's just an easy flight for him.
Right.
Just like for me, it's an easy flight for me to go to Mexico City or Guadalajara or something like that.
Right.
2.5 hours. It's 2.5 hours. It's about at most $300, depending on when you book it. So it's easy for us to go on a weekend or whatever to go to these places and develop that type of relationship and it's different for like guys going to Cartagena or Medellin, where I don't know what the airfare is like, but it's a longer flight.
Right. Depending
on where you're coming from. Where me, it's a shorter distance. You know, I can leave in the morning and be there early afternoon.
I think, you know, obviously there's always the exception to the rule. I think you could do it. But I know that you have to definitely be consistent. Definitely with that. I would look for the red flags. You know, is she not available after 9 o'clock or something? Or, you know, and a lot of guys don't look for these red flags that come up or whatever. No, if we're in a relationship, I should be able to holler at you pretty much anytime. You got to show some consistency, and then after a while you build up that trust. But that's not what's happening. A majority of the guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but a lot of these guys are falling in love with the work. And they're upset when they find out that this is what it is. Oh, I met her parents. Man, a lot of times the parents are on it. You know, one guy even met the mom or whatever. This chick was married, bro, had a husband, everything. The husband, the next week after he left, he dropped her off on the moto right in front of the club, kissed her, and she went in. Like, they look at it like just like a regular job, man. So the finesse game is real, you know. So all I can say is just, you know, if you're gonna be in a relationship with a chick overseas, I would suggest only doing it if you have some type of plan. Like maybe you're retiring in the next 2 years. Maybe you're going to bring her to the States. I don't recommend it, but hey, do what you do. You know what I'm saying? It different thing, because this is the thing, right? If a guy, it's not just about money. A lot of guys come over here and they think, oh, I'm an American. I can pull anything I want. But that's not true. These girls have eyes. You know what I'm saying? They desire fit. You know, they desire, you know, a successful guy. So a guy that's working at what, and no, I'm not dissing. I'm just calling out a job. You know, if a guy works at Walmart and he's making $15 an hour, well, over there, if he goes on a vacation, she's thinking that all Americans got money. You know what I'm saying? Now that Walmart guy takes her back to, you know, Alabama somewhere, and she's in the middle of nowhere. Now she goes from just one of many to probably the hottest chick in that town. They don't know that she was a former working girl, or they don't know what her history is. So now she's got guys that's got big money trying to holler at her. And a lot of these chicks end up leaving these guys and they get their heart broke. I say keep them in their environment, bro. Keep them in their environment. My girl, she was wanting to come to the U.S. before she met me because her friend was in Denver, because, you know, Denver was a sanctuary city, right? Mm-hmm. And so she was like, in Cartagena, like my girl's 52, I'm 55. So she was like, one thing in Colombia, they discriminate against the elderly. Like anybody over 50, you're out of the workforce. Like they want the young people in because it's not a whole lot of opportunity here. So she was going to go to Denver with her friend and work. And so she was like, yeah, they're going to pay me $3,500. And so she's thinking in Colombia, her daughter-in-law is a doctor and she only makes like $1,500 a month. So she's thinking like, damn, I'm gonna make more than a doctor. I was like, sweetie, I had to break out the Rent Zillow and showing her this is what an average apartment cost in Denver. And by the time I got done breaking it all down, even without a car, she didn't have no money left. But that's the mentality that they think all Americans are rich. And I'm like, we got people homeless and struggling over there. Everybody not rich, you know, but it looks like that when we're on vacation because, you know, guys having a good time, popping bottles, you know, they're thinking like, oh man, these guys are like LeBron. I'll tell you what, I mean, of course I can't say no names, but I had an NFL guy come. He stayed at my house, right? And I hosted him for about a week. And you know what the best thing about that situation is that he had the ugliest chick out of all of us. Like the playing field became even when we got over here, you know, and to the guys that'll say, well, these guys are going over here, they're just paying for it or whatever. Well, like I said, I've been married quite a few times. And I can tell you this, I pay way more in mortgages and car notes and tuition and all this other stuff than I ever paid on working girls when I would dabble here and there or whatever, you know. But now I'm not really interested because I would almost have to go to another country in order to be interested because I'm not really feeling Medellin. But I can't, these girls, I see them all the time. And when you see the same chick with 4 or 5 different dudes every day, giving her number, it's not a turn on for me. So for me, I'm like, I'm good with mine. You know, I go out, have a good time, hang out with the fellas or whatever. But after a while, it does get old. And most of the guys that actually live here, they end up wanting something a little bit more meaningful. But I mean, my hat's off. The guys that's just visiting, that's what you should do. Go have a good time, pay to play. It's still cheaper than a date to me. You know, I
That's
guess
a good
one
point.
guy was.
Let me catch these comments real quick. I got you in a second. Kevin Johnson, Global Push says it's like that in the Philippines and Thailand too. Shit to you. Shout out to my man Jay Clyde in the business. Says good luck moving some lady from beaches and bliss in Brazil to cold and snow in Omaha, Nebraska. That's facts.
I've known
That's
somebody.
facts.
I've known women that done that. To be honest with you.
All right. Shout out my man MAB in the building. Salute to you. Super chat says salute to me.
My God.
Day passport blueprint and the chat. Pull up MAB if you ain't busy, man. Pull up, bro. All right.
Yeah.
Jesse Short says, "Oh, only dating an older chick story makes more sense now." I'm not trying to give a fastest truth or trolling, but if you think I'm trolling, then okay, let's play dog in the building. We got Dwayne Brown, $10 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says this conversation is gold. This should be required listening for newcomers. Great content and very relative to being safe and successful. We appreciate that, Dwayne Brown, $10 super chat. Yeah, you got some. Yeah, it's definitely some. I'm like 50-50 on the long distance relationship. Now I also put a poll in the chat, guys. If you guys want to put a poll, like I said, like Uncle Jay says, there are some exceptions. I think if she's an older career woman and you're making plans on moving down there eventually, it could possibly happen. But if she got some cousin or something that she's putting, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's a cousin or like you said, she's not available after 9 p.m., then watch it, bro. It's a vetting process when you're dating a woman. It takes some time. It
definitely is a vetting process. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the guys were asking, where did I meet?
Real quick, because honestly, in this day and age, you technically can be on video calls all night. You know what I'm saying? Like you can kind of keep in contact.
There's no reason for a person to get catfished in 2025. Like,
right?
If she's not wanting to video chat with you, red flag. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you something that happened to me when I
watched
first
the cousins, the uncles, like the whole thing, especially in the Dominican Republic, bro. Like the whole family is in on it. So
the finesse game.
The husband will be right up in your face in your crib at the barbecue. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a whole husband or a whole boyfriend. They do that shit in Thailand too, believe that. And
Right. Exactly. I mean,
like they look at sex a little differently than we do. We're a little bit more. Western men are a little bit more. I'm not gonna say possessive, but it's just our culture. Like we don't believe in sharing our women sexually with anybody.
Them dudes trying to live, man. They trying to survive.
Unless you want some pimping shit, you got some cats on some pimping. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I agree with what's that? The one the comment you just went past about the learning the language. It opens up for definitely a better relationship. And one of the guys was asking in a chat, where did I meet her at? I actually met her online. But you know what? I put no prepago. And I looked for a certain range. I looked for certain pictures. Like I said, I looked for if they got the picture on the yacht, they got the picture on that balcony of the hotel. I looked for certain things. I looked for certain clothes that they wear. She actually had pictures of her at work. She had pictures with her family. So it was like, wow, no red flags or whatever. And even from that, I still tested her for a while because I had my spot. She had her spot. When I finally met her son, he was just like, her son, he's 22. He said, Jay, man, he said, my mom is actually a good wife. He said, my dad was the one that screwed everything up after 25 years. And me and him, we're like really tight. And don't get it twisted. Uncle Jay had his choice of 25 to 30. But honestly, man, I think it comes to a point where sometimes you have to be a little bit realistic with yourself. And I just felt like a woman closer to my age range. I felt like I ended up with the perfect situation. Yeah, she's 52, but got the body of a 25-year-old. So her mind is right. She owned property. So I figured like, okay, this person is an asset. And it all proved out to be right because not only did I bought her house that her and her ex-husband used to share before they got divorced. And then she sold me her mom's house, which is the one I'm turning into the boutique hotel Airbnb right now. So she's been, and she gets
business. Okay.
me workers for the low. You know, she makes sure nobody gives me like the gringo rates. Like she's the person that's really behind all my business adventures. You know what I'm saying? Making sure shit gets done and I don't get screwed over. And I can't ask for a better mate. But I think sometimes with the younger chicks, they feel like they're the prize, and they feel like, you know, and then of course these guys that lead with their wallets, you know, these girls, I want an iPhone. I just had a guy just text me, man, what's the phone go for down there? He said, don't laugh at me or whatever, but I know what's happening. He's trying to buy a phone for one of these chicks down here. You know, why would you be in the United States and want to buy a phone down here? Unless you lost your phone, here. So it's crazy, man. But hopefully, you know, doing platforms like this, we can get the word out, man, and put the focus on the good passport bros. There's no way. I saw a guy where he was trying to vet. He said, well, maybe you guys should do a better vetting. There's no way to vet who's a passport bro. Some people claiming it ain't, you know, it's an ideology. So at the end of the day, we can't be responsible for what somebody else does. But I do know this. We're not broke and dusty. I met more millionaires since I've been traveling than I ever did in the United States. There's a lot of brothers out here, man, just living good, man, you know, living their best lives. So, well, we see what it is. Don't bring her. Don't have a long distance.
All right, so this is the poll we did. This is 7 minutes ago. We got 25 votes here. It says, are long distance relationships realistic, or is she cheating on you? 30% says yes. 64% says no. I probably could put that question a little bit better, but there you have it. That's the opinion of the chat right now.
I mean, you can take that chance if you want to.
It's crazy, man, because it really depends on like the two that's in the relationship. Because you could be in a long distance relationship in the same country. You know what I'm saying? But long as it's easier to get to each other,
yeah,
you know, monthly you'll be okay, generally speaking. But it's just like, I'll give you a prime example. Say you were dating a chick, you live in Atlanta, you date a chick in LA. It's like a 4-hour plane trip. That's pretty far. Right. But it just seems longer when you in, because I think the flight to Medellin is like 5 hours from Florida.
Right.
So it just seems to be longer when it's in a different country. It's just that mindset, even though you can be in a long distance relationship, even in America, you can be in a long distance relationship.
Facts. It can be, but even look, I don't even recommend it too much in America, because a lot of these chicks, man, I mean, especially if they're bad, think about this, right? Anytime you go on like Instagram or whatever, anytime there's a beautiful woman, how many guys is in the thirst box? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about thousands, bro. It's a lot of pressure
these days, these days, for sure.
You know, like me, I'm 55, so I grew up in an era where we only knew the people in our little 4-block radius, or we knew the people that we went to school with or something like that, because there was no social media, whatever. Now people are exposed to the world. And I think that's what's really helping out a lot of men right now, is that they're like, wait a minute, you mean I can actually go to Colombia? I can actually go to Dominican Republic. I can live in Thailand. It's cheaper. It's warm weather. It's beautiful women. Why not? So it's like when we're dealing with this masculine energy back home and given the choices, we're like, we out. You know, I think brothers have checked out, man. They've checked out of marriage. They've checked out of relationships back at home, dating. They're just like, man, let me get on my grind, my purpose, and get my passport, and I'm out and enjoy life.
Let me catch this cover right quick. As Jay Clyde says, a chick can be living under the same roof as you and cheating. That's a good point. Jay Clyde, Mr. Contrarian, always. All right. That's a good point. I got another comment here by man Grego in the building. He's also a mod. He says, people take a shot every time Medellin is mentioned. Alcohol sales will rise like never seen before.
Facts.
The Medellin defense squad, man. You got some guys that really believe that Medellin can be safe depending on how you move. And it's some truth to that.
Yeah.
I lived in Medellin for 2 years. I didn't have any incidents whatsoever. You know what I mean? Besides a little incident in Central with some Venezuelans, I really didn't have any incidents. So that does have some truth to it. But I would never ever come on here and say Medellin is not a dangerous city. Okay,
Right.
You won't hear me say that because you can feel it when you there. You can feel it.
Right.
And if anybody want to prove me wrong, go live with your iPhone. All right, after 9 o'clock in Medellin, anywhere, and see how that turned out for you.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, that's the. You know what's funny? Out of 2 years in Colombia, that's the only incident that I ever had is in Medellin. And yeah.
What was your incident?
I took the video down, and actually it's funny because it shows you how like the negativity gets more traction. Like the video ended up having like 10,000 views within a couple days, but I took it down because I didn't want that to be following me my whole life, but I wanted to be transparent because I felt like it could help somebody, you know what I mean? But basically a chick attempted to rob me, but because I follow certain steps, I'm sorry, hold on. Give me 1 second. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you good.
Okay, hold on. I clicked off my screen right quick. All right.
It was getting good, man.
Okay. So because I followed certain steps that I do, she wasn't able to get away with it. So basically, I never let them shower in my room, right? They shower in, like I had them shower in the spare bedroom, right? Well, it actually was the hallway one, and I took the one in the bedroom. So she was adamant about, she was saying that some guy robbed her last time, so she wanted the funds up front, right? And I've had that before, you know. I never had any issues, you know what I'm saying? Because you do got some guys out there that be on some nonsense. We had hung out like literally all night. So I go in my bathroom, take a shower. She was supposed to go in the other bathroom. Well, I was in there literally 3 minutes. It was just a quick, because I took a shower before I went out. So I was like, okay, let me just freshen up, come back out. And she tried to leave. Well, I had already took care of the security guard, and I'd already told him if I don't come out, she don't leave. And they called the room, and it was like, hey, is it okay for her to leave? I said, absolutely not. I went down to the front desk, and I told them to call the police. Called the police, and she was like, oh, she was calling the police a more. Like, come on, bro. And you know what's funny is that at first they were trying to take her side at first, saying that she said that I had already slept with her. She said that I had already I should have paid for services because she was hanging out with me at the club all night. I was like, that is not what we agreed. Of course, I act like I just met her right after the club closed. I didn't tell them that I was with her, you know, pretty much all day. But I was able to prove it because I took them up to my room, and they saw that the beds were still made up because I checked in that day. So nothing was out of place. My story matched because the showers were wet. The other bathroom, she washed her hands or some shit or whatever. So basically, she was just trying to get away without providing.
But you didn't get drugged. You didn't get drugged.
No. She didn't drug me. She just attempted to try to take my money. And then I was even going to be nice and say, okay, you know what? If you think that you deserve a little bit for your time or whatever, I was like, here's 100,000 pesos or whatever, you know, like $25 or whatever. Man, she threw that shit down and said basically if she couldn't have it all, she didn't want it. You know what I mean?
But what'd be the funniest thing out here in Thailand is seeing the dudes get beat up by the lady boys.
Well, I heard one picked up. I heard a regular chick picked up Marcus and took him off the street. Where you guys?
Oh yeah, they strong out here. They're strong out here. But it just be so funny when, like, you see that, you just be like, all right, it was a discrepancy, but it's another dude you messing with. So,
hey, and your boy Jesse, man. What up, Jesse, man? Hey, bro, I done had some baddies in the United States. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a 4-time loser as far as wives or whatever, you know, for whatever reasons or whatever, you know, I take that, you know what I'm saying? I just always wanted to be a settle down person because I didn't grow up in a 2-parent household. So I kind of wanted that family structure, but you know, every one of them, it was some type of issue that I was just like, now I will say this, I'm the one that filed for my divorces. It wasn't the other way around. All of them, I was the one that left, you know, and I didn't really have to deal with cheating or anything. Ended up with 2 children. They're all adults now. But I just kind of, it's not just about the women for me. It's about peace. You know, I suffered from panic attacks and anxiety after the war. I became a recluse or whatever. Man, when I got here, it was like, and this is no bullshit, it was almost like I got cured from it. You know, it's like I haven't had any stress. My business mind has turned on, you know. I feel great. You know what I'm saying? I suffer from MS. So for me, this has been like I haven't had any problems, not on any medication, anything. I'm eating healthier. I've lost probably 35 pounds.
Did you do anything specific to I was supposed to get rid of or reduce the
I think that it was just, man, I just think that the stress of America was just taking its toll on me. I think that you know, the hustle and bustle, always trying to keep up a certain standard. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was that guy that I had to be suited and booted. I had to have a Corvette. I had to have the dually truck. I had to, you know, all this stuff that means nothing now. I don't even own a car now. Matter of fact, the only bill I have is pretty much living expenses, which is like a couple $100 a month for the utilities, because the house I live in now is totally paid for, and I have a cell phone bill of $10. You know what I'm saying? But my income is now more than what it was in the States. You know what I mean? So I'm good. So I have nothing, and that's not even including when I get the Airbnb up and running or whatever. So I guess maybe it was just the stresses of everyday life, man, was taking its toll on me. But I got hooked on Xanax, bro, when I was back at home from the stress and the panic attacks or whatever. Weaned myself off that, started exercising. Now, bro, I don't take anything. Like I weaned myself completely off of that. So you know, all I can say is what it done for me, you know, and that's the narrative that I want to push, that, you know, everybody has their own agenda for traveling, but don't just lump everybody in one big pot. You know what I'm saying? Like there are many guys out here that's traveling more than for box, and salute to the ones that are. You know, I'll get some box every once in a while if I felt the need, but I just don't feel the need now because I got some built one on my team. You know, it's like, and I've said this publicly or whatever, and I said it to her. She gave me permission to do whatever, because I'm like, I'll never get married again. I'll never share finances with any woman again. I'm emotionally scarred in that aspect or whatever, but I will treat you right as long as I feel like you know, you're a part of the team, you know, and you have my best interest. And we haven't had one argument in 2 years, not one.
Oh, that's good, man. Let me catch this. I want to read this comment real quick. Janet says, I went through it. The whole family was in on it. When I found out she was juggling 4 of us trying to get us to help her buy an apartment. Is that Torres says? Tori, is that how you pronounce that? Torres says? I think that was that Colombia or Mexico. I'm not sure. But he goes on to say, let me see the rest of what he goes on to say. When I called her out on it, she accused me of violating her privacy because I went through her emails and found out all the PayPal emails of the guys sending her money and contacted all the guys. Wow.
Yeah, and
he says they always play the victim, and the scams they learn from Dave. That might have been, I mean, I don't know, that might have been a chick in the game. What y'all think?
Yes, they always play the victim. Yeah. Look,
I remember that might have been what we call a semi-pro.
The semi-pro, exactly.
Yeah, that might have been some of a semi-pro playing that type of game. Don't get me wrong, a regular girl would definitely cheat on you, but the money thing, that's like you said, that's talk. But guys, it's been a great show. I want to thank you guys for coming on. We've been rolling for a minute here. This is the Passport Bro defensive team, basically.
Hey, we gotta hold the line, brother. We gotta hold the line.
Hold the line, man. We gotta hold the line, man.
Hey, man,
we gotta do a specific show too, Jay. One day we gotta.
Yeah. I was talking. Matter of fact, I was talking to Marcus about that. You know, I was like, man, you know what? I would love for me, you, and BMT to do a show on some of that, because it seems like, you know, we've been kind of defending all this stuff separately that's going on, man, because it's getting rough out here, you know. But I think that they need real life stories of guys that's out here actually living in these countries and actually doing work, man. You know, Marcus got to see a video that I put up where I gave each one of my workers for Christmas $500, threw them a party. Man, those guys love me to death, bro. They're like, oh, Patron, you know, and it feels good to be able to give back, you know. So we're not just all out here doing foolish shit, you know what I mean? Some of us are actually building better lives, you know, and that's, like I said, that's what I want to promote. I also want to give you your flowers, man, for creating the movement, even though they don't want to give you credit. We know the real deal, man. And like I said, I appreciate you having me on the platform, and definitely having my boy Marcus MAB on the platform, because he definitely go hard for you. Matter of fact, when I first met him, he's like, yeah, I know Aaron Ferris. And he was like, bro, you don't realize, man, you the plug in Cartel. I was like, what are you talking about, bro? And it's funny, like I say, he inspired me, and then like I inspired him. I was like, bro, you got to get back in the game, man. I was like, your editing skills, your delivery, you got something there. You know what I'm saying?
Really
and now he's like, yeah, I'm back, man. I'm back. You know, matter of fact, a reel that he just did from a stream today, I think in 24 hours, man, I think it's almost up to 30,000 views on it on TikTok or something, you know. So he was like, he ain't got but 500 followers. So it's been shared like 200 and some times or whatever. Basically, when I said that, my wife said, get the F out. And I said I was in Colombia the next day. So, you know, I guess that negativity, it goes viral, you know, but we got to keep pushing this positive narrative out here, man. But appreciate you, brother.
For sure. Passport Blueprint, man. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Man. I just want to say right now, I am a dual resident of both United States and Mexico.
Nice
residency card, and I'm working on a third residency in another country, which I'm not going to tell right now.
Right.
And, it's all about peace of mind, man, for me. I'm just enjoying. I went to Mexico a couple months ago, and people was so hospitable and very, very nice. I just loved the hospitality they gave me, and I'm planning on going back very soon.
I miss the food there, man. I miss the food, bro.
Oh,
so look, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. Unc was 5 years in Mexico, bro. So yeah, man.
I got the temp one, the 1 year. Next year I get the 3 year.
Yeah, man. I live down about 2 hours south of I met a girl. She was an American, but she had dual citizenship. So her parents owned a farm, like a 50-acre farm in Ensenada. So we decided to move down there, man. And I loved it. The only reason, like, we were together 5 years. The only reason I broke up with her because she let her mom control her too much. I'm like, man, I'm down there 50 years old. I'm not having no mother control, but she didn't like black people. You know what I mean? But I had a good time. A lot of people sleep on Mexico, but it's an alternative, especially, you know, just going across the border. You can drop your rent by a couple $1,000s over there in Tijuana and, you know, other areas, Rosarito and whatever. But I want to go down to like Mazatlan and a couple other places down there.
Yeah, I stayed in Polanco. I was in Mexico City. I stayed in Polanco. I was in one of the most expensive areas in Mexico City. And I stayed there for cheap. And I was in one of their top apartment complexes in there, man. And let me tell you something. It reminded me a lot of Tel Aviv, Israel, because I used to live in Israel. And the food was amazing. The hospitality was outstanding. And they got everything just like back home. Walmart, Home Depot, everything. They even got a high-end fashion mall with everything in there. All the food. And then some. So that was just too enticing for me. So I got my 1 year temp, and then next year I got to up it up for 3 years.
Nice. Congratulations, bro. Living your best life. That's what it's all about, bro.
Yeah. Excellent, man. Well, guys, make sure to check out their channel. It's been another great stream. We out of here, man. Peace.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
We have a problem with this, and on black women as a reason to go over to take advantage of women who are not financially stable. You go over here to find somebody who's going to treat you like a king.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.